Hey, this is Rob Clemens with the Leader Mentality Show. We are still at the Grand Strand Brewery. You guys got a sneak peek into what it looks like behind the scenes as we just rap about things with the guests beforehand. But I have Halley Murrow with Grand Strand today, and we are very excited to have her here. She's got all kinds of exciting things going on. Halley, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you. So much so, I want to break the ice with a little gift to you that I've been giving to the great stars today. We got a little Leader Mentality shirt for you.
That's amazing. Thank you so
very
much.
excited.
You're so sweet. I can't wait to wear this.
It's no big deal. I just need you to wear it on your show every day for the next week. If you do that, we're even. Well, I heard as you came in today, you were just telling me you're going to be at CCMF tonight.
I am.
Right.
I'm really excited.
Well, what are you most excited about?
Brooks and Dunn. I'm telling you, they're my favorite country artists.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to the old school country with my Grandpa Farlow.
Okay.
He loved taking me riding out in the country, and he'd say, Halley May, hop in. He'd turn on the country music, and I would sing as loud as I could. And he'd say, sing it, Halley May. And some of my favorite songs to sing were Brooks and Dunn.
So your grandpa would say, sing it, Halley May, and you start going to town.
Belt it out.
Wow, that's pretty cool. You know what? There's been a theme on the show today. I think it was an unintentional theme, but people talking about their grandparents and parents.
Aww.
And I think that's a beautiful thing for the Leader Mentality. You're talking about how the parents affected. We had DJ Dank Williams on, and he was telling us some of his grandfather and grandmotherly advice.
Aww.
Really good. Check it out if you get a chance later.
I'll definitely check that out.
So you're going to go do that. Are you staying the whole night? Are you going to just party this night away?
Well, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to go like around 4. It's kind of hot out there.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to hold up. I'm trying to drink a lot of water. Got the sunscreen on.
There you go. Oh, sunscreen important.
I'm going to put something a little cooler on. So I plan on staying at least until Brooks and Dunn finishes. So usually that's right until the end.
Yeah. And then you'll just get right in your car and go on home. It's pretty easy from that. No, I think it's a lot of traffic out here, but it's worth the investment. So cool. Now, you're not going any other nights this year, though?
Not any other nights this year.
Well, look, Brooks and Dunn, if you're listening, that's high praise. She's coming just to really see you guys.
I mean, every song I think I know word for word.
Well, you know, I've had 2 people do songs on the show today.
No.
Would you like to do that?
I want me to do a song. I'm not Greg Rolls.
Okay, well, you know, gosh, I tried, guys. For the viewers at home, I tried. Well, Halley, tell us a little bit about yourself. Just I know you a little bit, and a lot of us do, but how'd you get into this thing, and what inspires you to do it?
So I grew up a small town girl from Lexington, North Carolina. I always knew I wanted to be on the TV scene, and as I got older, I thought, how can I make an impact? I started in news. News was just too hardcore for me because I soak everything in around me. So
you're like collecting the energy of the news.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So it was just too heavy for me. I admire the people that do that, but I knew lifestyle was more of my scene. And what I do is so rewarding because not only our viewers appreciate it, but the small businesses that we go to appreciate it so much. And that's really what makes it so fulfilling.
Well, that's really awesome. Do you get to, being in the lifestyle you're in, do you get to hear a lot of news, or are you so busy doing just interviewing that you really don't get to hear that much?
Yeah, I'm really kind of in my own little world at WMBF News. We are nonstop. You know, a lot of people think we just show up and do live shows, but there's a lot of planning that goes into it. It really doesn't stop. We do the live show and then we'll shoot afterwards. So we're out of the office most of the time. So it is rare that I'm kind of roped into news. And if I am, it's still lifestyle oriented. Like today, we didn't have a show for Grand Strand today because of the French Open. And I got to go out and do CCMF coverage for the news, but it was still lifestyle.
Well, I didn't get to go over there. How's it looking over there? Is it amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing. Everything is packed. People have been lined up. Yesterday, I got there at like 11 and people were already lining up. The gates didn't open until 3. So these are dedicated country music fans.
Wow. Well, yeah, it is going to be good. And look, my producer of the show, he was talking about it and said, I didn't realize there's going to be guys like Kenny Chesney here. You know, you hear about a Myrtle Beach music festival and you're thinking, you know, there will be nice local players. This is the real deal.
It is.
Yeah.
And people come from all over. They have some of the best stories. A lot of the fans that I talk to Food Today and yesterday have been every single year. They all have kind of their favorite artists, but just in general, to be able to see that many great musicians in one weekend is pretty awesome that we have it right here in our own backyard.
No doubt about it. Well, I didn't intend to do this, but I want to test your a little bit about the news and hear if you heard this one. Have you heard this thing about the people that called 911 about having the aliens in their backyard? Did you hear this?
I've not.
Okay.
Oh my
This
goodness.
may be more like TikTok news at this point, but no, these people literally called 911. This made the news on a somewhat national level, saying they saw a couple aliens in their backyard. I thought that was kind of creepy, but you don't know anything about it.
So I need details on this. Were there cocktails involved?
Yeah. I'm sure there were. There always are. But, the funniest part was the police officers who came to the scene. Obviously by then the 8-foot-tall aliens were gone, but the police officer said if they come back, don't call us. I thought, what a look into reality, so very cool.
Oh my gosh.
Well, so you've been doing this show this year, you've been doing a lot of cool things. What stands out to you as some of your stuff that's really been fun?
Man, we've just done so much. All of it is special in its own way. Our viewers love it when we do food. So we try to do food a lot.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of eating. Luckily, I have help from Andrew Dockery. I know he's chatted with you before.
Andrew Dockery's a buddy.
He's amazing.
Yes.
I love him so much. And so he does our dining stuff. And sometimes he can't always make it, and I have to do it. And I'm like, Andrew, I'm going to spend hours in the gym. I don't know how you do it. I'm not as blessed as you
There's
are.
a lot of taste testing and such.
Which is great.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining. But it's hard to kind of resist when you've got 10 dishes in front of you. So
right.
We have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
We explore as well. We just went down to Myrtle's Inlet. They have these new sea carts. I mean, we do everything. We went out. It's kind of like a cross between a boat and a jet ski.
Okay.
So we rode those. We went to Hopswee Plantation and toured that. We're all over the place. We go down to Georgetown, as far as Georgetown, and then, of course, our main focus is the Grand Strand, because that's where so many of our viewers are, and y'all want to know what you can go and do. So that's really what we focus on, is what things people might not know about, that are the hidden gems and great local places and good places to eat. And we do vet those, so it's not like we just pick anywhere to go. A lot of times it's a place that myself or Andrew has been to and we're like, this is so good, people need to know about this.
Oh, so you're going anyway. So if you're a business out there and you see Halley come through the door, get your A game together, because you might end up on her show at some point, right? Okay, I got you.
We're always looking for people to bring on.
I think your show is great for that reason, because there are people who have lived here for a long time. I'm one of them. But, we're working every day. So it's like you don't get a chance to get out and experience everything. So sometimes people see something and go, I didn't even know that was my backyard.
Aww,
right?
Thank you.
So that's very cool.
That.
Well, what do you do in your off time? I mean, you talked about jet skis and stuff. Are you an action water sports kind of a person?
I mean, I love kayaking. I haven't been in a while. I need to get back out on the water. I love being outdoors. There's something about nature that is so calming. I say that in the show all the time when we go to state parks and things like that, but I really mean that. Just to kind of unplug and be out in nature and have a little bit of peace and serenity. I try to work that in, but honestly, it depends on the weekend. You and I have talked about this off camera before. Some weekends I want to go do everything, and then other weekends I want to be a recluse and watch Netflix. So you have to recharge. You
got to have that reclusive moment. Even the most social people, it's just like there's something rejuvenating in that.
There is.
What would you say is something that has helped your career a lot? Is somebody that said something to you, or was there a point where you knew you were going to make it?
Well, I've had a lot of mentors, and I'm really thankful for that. Ralph McLeod, who is local, actually gave me my first break into something outside of news. We started doing commercials together years and years ago, over 10 years ago. That was a great experience. I was able to produce a show for HTC with the Conway Chamber of Commerce with Ralph. That really kind of gave me so many tools to set me up for what I'm doing now. My original boss who hired me on at WMBF News was such a great influence on me. He'd been in the TV business for over 25 years. I learned a lot of marketing, but when I came on at WMBF News over 5 years ago, I had to learn to manage an entire website. That's how we started.
Wow, okay.
So I was so nervous when I got the job because I knew what my skill set was. But anytime I get really scared like that, I'm like, okay, I'm scared, I'm gonna feel it, but I also embrace it because that means I'm growth is ahead.
Yes.
And so the growth happens.
But hold on, I want to soak this in. I want to get the magnitude of this. So they're like, we need somebody to really, maintain the website and stuff. And you're like, yeah, I can do that.
Actually,
or is that like...
what it was, I felt like it was such a godsend for me because I had been doing freelance work. I was a reporter in the beginning of my career, and then I had done freelance with spokesperson work with the show I told you about, with How To with Halley, and I saw this post with WMBF News that was for SC Weekends, and so it was all lifestyle driven, but it was mainly going to live online.
Okay.
So I knew my expertise was more in the broadcast world. I could shoot and edit, but I didn't know much about websites, so I went through a lot of training, and it was just the greatest blessing because I learned so much, and through that it grew into a segment on WMBF News, which over 2 years ago grew into its own entire show.
Right. Yeah, that's so cool. Look, every opportunity that we have in life, every great growth, a lot of times comes with that, like getting out of your comfort zone a little bit. I believe in that.
I do too.
Yeah. What would you say is something that you would tell your younger self that if you could go back in time to little Halley May or whatever, what would you say to yourself that would be good advice?
I think, honestly, I think I would leave it alone because I went through and had to grow and learn the hard way through a lot of stuff, and that's what's gotten me to where I am, just the persistence and not giving up and being willing to learn and learn from those who know more than you, and really just kind of listen to your leaders. Yeah,
absolutely. That's a great point. Good Andrew Dockery story. Give me one.
They're all good.
They're all good?
They are.
I think he's got a lot of content, especially we got onto a little banter about this I think it was called Purses with Purpose or something.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a great one. Anybody who didn't get to hear the show, just check him out on social media.
He's great. I love Andrew.
That was a side of him I never thought I would see.
No, me either. We were there. So he and Eric Weisfeld were in the fashion show.
Yeah.
And before, I was like, Eric had planned out this entire dance. He's one of my really good friends too. And Andrew, I knew, was going to pull it out. He just has one of those personalities.
Yeah.
So he went before Eric, and Eric was like, please dance. No one's really dancing. I've got this whole dance going on. And he went out there, and it was just amazing.
So they were like hoping for that. Well, that's kind of what he said. There was that thing where sometimes you've got a cast of people, and you're like, I'm going to do something different.
Right.
And that goes to show innovation does pay its dues.
It does.
So.
And he raised a lot of money. For Purses with Purpose.
Well, what kinds of things are you doing for the next year? What do you see on the horizon? What are you excited about?
I'm excited about everything, honestly. I don't stop researching new things that are coming to Myrtle Beach and the Grand Strand. That's always kind of on my agenda. I always have my ears open and my eyes open. So we've got some really great stuff in the works. I would say continue to expect delicious food, new adventures. Dustin and I have talked a little bit. You know Dustin, he's my photog and one of my dear friends.
Absolutely.
We've talked about going on the road a little bit, not too far, but we do pre-record shows occasionally. We're live most of the time, but if I'm out of town or something, we pre-record shows. So that gives us an opportunity to kind of go a little farther, like Georgetown or Wilmington. We've been up there a few times.
Yeah.
So finding things that are still within driving distance that people can go do. So we've definitely got some of those things, and I actually have a really cool show. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Oh boy,
I haven't
teaser.
Nailed it all out yet, but I'm working on something that I think people are going to be blown away by. It is such a hidden gem. It's not too far from here, and it's going to be really interesting and outside of the box. Very cool stuff. Well, I can appreciate that. Tell me something about Myrtle Beach you think is special then, because you just talked about a couple of different areas, and I know you're really deep rooted in here. What would you tell somebody that's thinking about moving this area? Myrtle Beach, honestly, the people are great, but I would say, where else can you go with this much beach? There are so many great local businesses. It's such a melting pot because we have a little bit of everything. We have a lot of our northern friends who have moved down here, so you can find just about every delicious food that you can think of that you wouldn't think of in the South. So you can find like those southern favorites like Big Mike's Soul Food.
Big Mike, where's that at? Where's Big Mike's?
It's not far from here.
Oh, okay, it's like close by.
Yeah,
is it like
really
next door or
by.
something?
It's not exactly next door, but
Okay.
it's just up the road a little
Okay.
bit. Some of the best fried chicken
to
you've
try
ever
that later.
tasted.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people don't realize that there is kind of a tight-knit local community once you've been here for a little while.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, for all the people that move into Myrtle Beach, and we get them from all over. I mean, look, when I was building homes, my customers were all Massachusetts, New Jersey, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once you get here, you find it's a fairly small area.
It is.
And you kind of will run into each other and run back through the circles. So
You do.
that's a
And
good
so
point.
many of the business owners that I talk to that are from up north that have come down here, they say, we love being here because the people are nice.
Yeah, yeah,
The
right.
people
Well, that's
are
true.
nice, and that Southern hospitality is a real thing.
Yeah, it is interesting. People don't honk in their cars as much
Yeah.
down here. That's something that up north, I guess they just honk whenever,
Right.
for anything. But down here, we're pretty patient people, I guess.
As long as it's not the dead of the summertime.
right. Well, we are just entering the traffic
are.
period now,
We
so
are.
it takes a little longer to get everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, as far as yourself, what is a thing that you like to do in your downtime other than nature? Is it just? I mean, do you just go around and experience stuff all the time?
Not all the time. Like
Yeah.
I said, sometimes I have some downtime, but I do love events. I go to a lot of events.
Yeah.
This past weekend, we were at Kingston Plantation. They've remodeled everything
Okay.
at Kingston Resorts, and they hosted a summertime bash with Lauren Elena and Jameson Rogers.
Nice.
So they have set up that whole place where Black Drum Brewing is
Yeah.
to be a concert venue in front of the pool.
Wow.
So they literally set up a stage on top of this big jacuzzi, and they designed it that way so they can have more and more artists come in. And I've got to tell you, I was like, this is such a hidden gem and such a secret. We did a show there that day.
Yeah.
And all of the hotels that surrounded it had a perfect view of the stage. I was like, oh my gosh, when people find out about this, they're
It's
going to be
gonna be-
completely booked.
Wow.
It wasn't even that busy because it was their big kind of coming out party.
Yeah, exactly.
So you do
Wow.
have to be staying there to go to the concerts, but I'm like, this is such a great secret. I can't wait to see what they do.
Man, very cool. Well, we've had some good teasers today. She's got a big show coming out where she can't quite tell us, but it's going to blow our minds. A lot of great tips and things from a real expert in the Myrtle Beach area. You've come a long way. Halley, grateful to have you on the show, and enjoy CCMF tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's always good to see you.
Anytime. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yay.
And guys, stay tuned. We got one more segment coming up with Danielle Van Dyke from the Myrtle Beach Chamber of Commerce.